Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Heather from Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening. I am thinking about changing my name a little bit, but we'll talk about that later. So I just got back from a nice Father's Day lunch out with my husband to celebrate him, and I wanted to share that I wore this cute new blouse. Those are tomatoes. White's not really my color, but I had to get this when I saw all the little tomatoes on there. They're so cute. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there who has fathered or parented a child and helped them along their way. Sadly, my husband's the only one I have left to celebrate on Father's Day. My dad and grandpa are both up there together. So, this video is all about tomatoes in trouble. And possibly, mid-June, look at my tomatoes, what they're doing. Are they struggling? There are some that look totally wonderful, but I think I have a disease I've never ever had before in my garden. It is either bacterial speck or bacterial spot, which most likely it would be spot for me in my location and my temperature range. I think the speck is more common in cooler kind of environments, and the spot is more prevalent in hot, humid, my location environment. I think I'm gonna maybe have to take that whole plant down. And if you don't take anything else from this video except this moment, this sentence I'm about to say is that when you see disease start at the top of your tomato plant, that's usually a sign for stress and worry, and you need to do something quick. So even though we just got back from a nice lunch out, I'm gonna go change. I'm gonna get in some old clothes, get a bunch of gloves, some clean pruners. We're gonna sterilize those pruners to death after. I got to possibly remove that whole plant. Just a few items I'm taking out with me as we do our quick assessment. Disinfectant wipes that kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. Freshly bleached and cleaned pruners. And a container full of gloves. When I handle that plant that what we believe has bacterial spot, I will be wearing gloves. Normally I like to handle my tomatoes because I absolutely adore the smell on my hands from tomato plants. That is one of the best essential oils to me. But if I'm dealing with disease, I'm going to protect all my other plants in the garden. We finally got rain, guys. A whole night of rain. It is so glorious to have rain. I don't have to water today, but we're going to have to remove all the standing water because the mosquitoes are ready and waiting for that water to lay their eggs. All right, we got our stuff. We're going to find somewhere to put these 4 guys that are left today with our tomatoes, because I don't know how much longer they can stand living like this, to be honest. Tomato wise, up here on my upper deck, I only have 2 tomatoes. I have this Tasmanian chocolate that had his head chopped off by a deer, and he actually has grown a new header. That's pretty impressive, right? The cut is right here. So we'll see what we get from him, but we do have 2 main leaders now, which is kind of nice. That is a dwarf. And then we have this poor little guy. It was a volunteer that sprouted super early, and I've let it grow. I would say it was probably even growing way back in March. Very slow. I'm hopeful it is Purple Heart, but I don't think... Oh, there's a mosquito on here. Yeah, shorts, bad choice. Bad choice. I may have to go change. I'm just experiment, let's see what happens. But yeah, definitely pale in color, kind of some odd leaf speckling, and just very slow growth. Yeah, there's a mosquito right there. See it? Oh, there's two. They literally started swarming me, and now we're going to try out this brand new product I just bought at the grocery. All natural. Let's see if it works. Usually the all natural, they really don't for me here. They love me. The mosquitoes love me. Fingers crossed, because I would love to find a product that doesn't have a lot of harsh chemicals in it. If you know something that actually works, please comment below. 2 upper deck tomatoes are fine for now. We're not going to worry about them. We're going to move on to bigger fish to fry, much bigger. Yes, these are all freshly disinfected, and if you want to know why, let's have a peek. Just gathered up a bin of ties that were used last summer in last year's tomatoes plants, tying up and all that. You can see the blue sky reflecting there in the water. So I'm soaking these and cleaning these in some water with added bleach to disinfect, because I do not want to use old twist ties that have been lying around all year that could have potentially some kind of soil-borne pathogen or any type of fungus or anything that could infect my tomato plants and make their growth this year not perfect. This is just one tiny step that I do. I started doing it, a couple years ago because three summers ago, I think, it was a really hard year for disease. And I used to not disinfect my twist ties. I would just use them. I would just go find them out in the garden and just reuse them. But now I do make the small effort to clean these year to year. And so once this batch is done, I'll be ready to use them. One trick also is to use two different colors. So you'll see green in here with black. So one year rotate, one year do green, the next year black, and then that way you know that, okay, this is the year of the green ties and they're all clean. I know they're disinfected and ready to go. I already did a big batch of the black about a month or two ago, and so this year we're going all with the all black twist ties. And these are actually the wire type that have a plastic coating. So this is what I prefer. You may have another method that works for you. Some people use disposable clips. I like to reuse for various reasons, and this is what I choose. All right, now we're moving down to the lower deck, and there are issues. Yes, I'm very, very sad. Let's see if you can tell which one of these plants is coming out today. These are all heirlooms. They're all either dwarfs or determinants. One of them is very ill, so I'll let you think about that. I will say I do have some tomatoes on my green stalk as well, and I just talked about those in a video. You can go check that out sometime later, but they're actually looking better after what I did on that video. And then there is one right here I just put in the ground the other day. Prairie Fire. It was one left over that I didn't know what to do with it. It'd been in a solo cup for like forever. So let's move back over here. Martino's Italian, I think. Black Seaman. He had rain all night long, but as you can tell, he is very wilty. Very wilty. He also had the first hornworm of the season on him, which was quite shocking. June the 11th. Just couldn't believe it. And then I've got Red Pride. It looks like he's having issues, but I'll tell you why in just one second. And then Summer Sunrise. I love this tomato. It takes a long time for maturity though. Like, I think 90 days? Yeah. Okay. Red Pride has some distorted leaves, right? Some discolored leaves. And they really kind of look like light leaves. But because of the deer, I have been putting cayenne pepper on my leaves. Like heavily, and just leaving it all week in a heat wave. You can even still see some of the cayenne. So any of the leaf sets throughout my garden spaces that had a heavy concentration of cayenne developed some issues in the leaf, like this, that later went on to very closely resemble and probably is blight. So I will clean him up, but I'm not worried about him. I'm going to keep him. He will definitely stay in production. He's not doing as well as his full sun counterpart, but he is putting out some little baby tomatoes. So he will stay. We will just clean him up. Also, the paste tomato over there, we will clean him up. Same thing with the leaves. Cayenne pepper, leaving it on all week in a heat wave. Bad idea, bad idea. Now, I believe the black Seaman has wilt. And one other tomato last summer had wilt in one of these containers. I did not change out the soil. I just thought, well, I'll just see what happens. This is what happens. So I'm going to remove him, but it's going to give us a great chance to do a couple experiments. Maybe just one experiment, but we might do two. We might turn it into two experiments. The first experiment is going to be, I'm going to remove the plant. It's actually two. I'm going to put in place one of my leftover tiny little stragglers from seed starting that germinated late. It is Lemon Boy Plus. He has built-in resistance to wilt. Now, it's not a healthy plant. It's been sitting in a teeny weeny little 4-ounce solo cup forever. It's already predisposed to probably diseases, but let's just run that experiment, see if he develops the same wilt from the same soil. The other experiment is, and this was a question that I saw on another gardening channel a long time ago, and the question was this: if you have a plant with a disease like wilt, could you top it, root these in water, and grow the same plant? possibly that doesn't have the disease, right? So I may run that experiment too. We may take a few of these, but the wilt is already kind of climbing up. As you can see, it is ascending quickly, very, 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 very quickly. So I don't know. I don't know if I should fool with that experiment. It's a very sad disease. I have heard of people that inject peroxide into the stem to see if they can save the plant that way. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to remove the plant and start with something else. If the Lemon Boy Plus doesn't do well, we will just put some zinnias in here or some sunflowers. Maybe I'll just do the sunflowers to see if I can clean up that soil a little bit. Kind of detox it. Yeah. So next summer, if we do a tomato in this pot, new soil, I'll just recycle that soil into some other place in the garden that does not grow nightshades. I've actually disturbed a wasp nest that was developing in this container. I was going to dump out the water and a few wasps started flying up. Oh, there's one right there. Oh my goodness. And, well, remember, I had the yellow jacket attack last summer, so I'm still a little skittish. I'm going to give them their space. We're going to move on somewhere else, but I will come back and show you what I did to those 4 tomatoes. Now we're going to move on down here to the front of the deck, and it looks like there are issues down there. I've kind of been ignoring this area, to be honest. It's not the best tomato area. What will happen, hopefully, I will plant out some Brussels in these containers come late July, early August, and I see stuff flying in my peripheral, so we need to get moving. Okay, we're down here to look at the lower plants in front of the deck, but look what I just discovered. I am so freaked out about it. I walked right past this. That is the wasp nest they were building. I didn't know I actually picked it up, because I did. I picked that up out of that trash can and moved it on top of the grill. I did not know what was on that dustpan. If I had, I wouldn't have touched it, for sure. For sure. Okay. Let's get a better look at these guys that I have been neglecting. I've been trying to organize my pots. It's a big old mess. I'm getting kind of overwhelmed with it. And I've been donating some. You can donate those to like greenhouses. All right. Goodness. Okay, so back container is Glacier. And it looks like it's growing up on the hydrangea. Looks like I need to do some trellising. We do have some fruits. And that's about the right size. Maybe a little bigger under better circumstances. It looks like a lot of leaves have been torn. Probably earwigs, maybe grasshoppers, slugs. Looks like I see slug damage too. But overall, I mean, it's just elongated from lack of light. Needs to get trellised up, but that's not too bad of a problem. Brown sugar back in there, also slug damage. Yeah, I've got my Sluggo Pluses on the way. It should be here, I think, tomorrow. Need to trellis him back up, support him, tie him up with our new clean ties. And then this container, some basil, also under attack. 2 Tasmanian chocolate dwarfs. They both were topped at one point. You can see, just like the guy on the upper deck, grew a new header. And then this back container is the same plant that has wilt over on the upper deck. You can see he's got some leaf damage. We're going to cut that off. Cut this one off. Just this leaf. You don't always have to take the whole leaf set. You can just cut there. Yeah, we're going to trellis him up. He needs some more support. Don't see any signs, knock on wood, of wilt yet. Brown sugar's done. Supported. Now, see how his head is pointing down? It's because he was actually turned that way. Now that I've got him right side up, he will naturally lift his head up towards the sun and straighten himself out. Otherwise, he looks okay. Overall, this variety has been a puny grower, not just in this location. My tomato bed area up front, also very puny compared to all the other tomatoes started and seeded and grown all at the same time. It's just a puny growing plant for me. All right, so I've got the Black Sea Man supported, trimmed up. Now I couldn't take too many leaves. I had to leave some of the ratty looking ones because he needs light. He needs photosynthesis. If I take all of his leaves, how will he grow my fruit? How will he continue to grow himself? So I did leave some that I would have preferred to take off, and you'll notice he has a different type of leaf. He has a potato leaf. which looks like a potato leaf. Different than our traditional tomato leaves, like the Tasmanian chocolate. So I just saw something so funny. The other day when I did the green stalk video, I rescued a little tiny spider off of my green stalk when I harvest my sage. And here he is, the same spider. The same spider because I threw him down here. And now, here he is. He's going to help me out, I hope. He is going to maybe work on those eggs. Hopefully. Could just go ahead and remove those. I guess I might. Yeah, I don't know. I might disturb him. He's such a cutie. So spiders are great. They are great companions in the garden. You'll also notice the basil. I cut off its head right here above the leaf joints and trimmed it up and stuck it down in the soil because this one looked horrible. Now it's pruned. It is going to bush out more, and maybe we'll have 2 plants. And I had stuck this little guy. This is one of the rejects from my plant sale and giveaway many weeks ago. And I noticed this black growth on the stem. Now, I just put him in the ground like a week ago. I saw that. That looks very ominous. He just looked not healthy, not happy, and I didn't want to take a chance on him spreading disease. Let's see what's inside of there. It doesn't look really bright or pretty. So I think that was a good call. Yeah, I mean, see how easily that snapped. Good call to put him away. Tasmanian chocolate cleaned up. Same thing to the basil. And you can see some of the cayenne pepper is still on the leaves. Now let's look over here at Glacier. Also a potato leaf. Also still cayenne pepper on the leaves. And yeah, I guess I was just too heavy-handed. But the deer kind of forced my hand. So everything got cleaned up for these plants, the Glacier. This little guy here, he should have died. I did an experiment with him, and he did die down to nothing, and then he sprouted back from the roots. So I put him in this container with the other seedlings that I had not planted out early, and he's trying to make a comeback. And then I accidentally snapped this off, one of the header pieces, one of the plants. I'm just going to stick it down in the soil and see what happens. It should develop some roots, but I'm not going to worry if it doesn't. Not sure where I'll put this basil. I have a lot of extra plants. All of these can be plants. These little growths. Everything's looking better here. As you can see, this area is complete. So we can check this off our list. This was not an area of high problems. Like, it wasn't an area of super duper concern. Just a little bit of TLC, and hopefully we just get a little bit of tomatoes from this area. This is a very low part sun area with a lot of slug pressure and other insects like earwigs and who knows what else, right? Deer, yeah, that's one. All right, we're still in the backyard, just around the corner from the tomatoes we just worked on. This is one Rosella tomato plant, and he has been eaten down to about 6 to 8 inches from the ground twice by deer. And he's trying his best. He is trying his best to grow back. See, one leaf set I'll probably cut off. Other than that, we're just going to let him be. Because guess what? The deer will probably come back and eat more. Alright, I do see a major problem over here. See if you can see it as well. It's actually quite... oh, it's worse than the one we just looked at. On the deck, the lower deck. This also looks like most likely wilt to me. That is so sad. That is so sad. I mean, the top just is very sad. So it's a double header, and so far this one on the left looks much worse than the one on the right. Let me see. I could try an experiment and just cut off the left side, but let's travel on down and see. I mean, I think that would be pretty risky and dicey. Now these plants have been eaten by deer as well, as you can see right there. That one looks rough too. I think I just need to pull it, and I need to make a note. So this is Black Seaman as well. The same exact plant as the other one with wilt. Yeah, this leaf is looking a little funny too. Yeah, that is a shame. That is a shame. I need to go get a trash bag. Okay, so over here, this is Purple Boy, and he's not getting the nutrition he needs because this hog of a plant, this collard green here, is sucking up all the nutrition. I'm going to remove the collard out of that one container, and hopefully he will take off. I'll give him a nice, yummy grow formula fertilization. And I'm thinking about, I've got some tomatoes out front, you'll see in a minute, moving some to this trellis where my beans have been struggling. There are beans there, but there are hardly any leaves because the deer have hopped my fence and just love to eat the bean leaves. So I think I may put some tomatoes here. I mean, they'll eat the tomatoes too, but I have a lot of tomatoes I don't know where to put that are volunteers that are just growing like weeds. And we'll see these guys here in a minute. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I gotta think here for a second. I think I should deal with the heavily diseased plants last, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I do not want to get their germs and pathogens all over me and then go touch some healthy plants like these guys here. They look pretty good. They've had a lot of heavy deer damage. They have been growing some new headers. They're both, well, there's two varieties of semi-determinants in this bed, and I just planted some that were leftovers in this bed because I was worried about the ones that had been eaten by the deer. But so far this bed is cleaned up pretty well and looking pretty okay. This is another leaf set that it looks like disease, but it's actually heavily sprinkled with cayenne pepper, and then it caused all of this. See that cayenne pepper? Yeah, lesson learned. Lesson learned the hard way. And then we've already talked about that tomato, and we know what we're going to do up there on the upper deck or lower deck with all those sick tomatoes. And so let's move over here. There are 3 Barnes Mountain Orange tomatoes in this bed with all of my carrots. Starting to get some growth going on the carrots. Now, these plants were also topped by deer, and you can see they have developed new suckers and headers after the deer came along and topped them. So they're good. I'm not going to do anything here other than maybe move their tie up a little bit and let them keep growing. They've got a ways to go for fruit production. The front side view of these tomatoes. Now, I did work on them probably a week ago, last weekend, and they look pretty good. So we're not going to do much to them other than maybe some lower leaves. And I remember this one got that cayenne pepper damage as well. I think we just looked at that actually. Yeah, so this bed is good, hopefully, knock on wood. Now, I did go ahead and work on the tomatoes up here real quick, so we'll just show you what I did. I've got this dwarf cherry cola, micro dwarfs. Notice some leaves were missing. I look a little closer, and there's another hornworm. Where is he? There he is. Just munching away. So I guess the early hornworms love the fruit more so than maybe the ones later. I'm usually finding those on the top of the plant, eating leaves, but for some reason these guys that are popping up now are eating a lot of the fruits, which is sad because I need them. Just did some trim up on this guy. He has had hornworms too because I noticed, yeah, some leaves missing. I'm going to come out tonight with a black light and do a check. Just do a nice little check of all my plants out here because I'm sure if there's 1, if there's 2, there's definitely more than that. Now I've got this guy kind of segregated out. That's the one we're just going to toss. I'm not going to do the experiment with the top because it just doesn't make sense. If there is anything in the watering system going on with wilt as far as the bacteria, most likely it would also be up there somewhere too. So it's not worth taking the chance. This whole tomato plant is just going out last thing before I go take my shower so I can throw it straight into the trash. No composting, no throwing out in the woods, no chop and drop. I'm just going to get rid of the entire plant. The same for the other one that we looked at just a minute ago, into a trash bag. This guy got trimmed up, and this guy minimal work on this one on the summer sunrise. So now we get to go to a new location. Ooh, I see a bad leaf on my pepper here. That could, oh, that's that cayenne pepper damage again, see? This one was heavily hit with the cayenne pepper, and we've got some damaged leaf there. So this is going in the trash. I mean, I can feel the cayenne pepper. You can still feel it, see, on the leaf. That was such a bad idea. Bad idea. We're going to move on here to the tomato tunnel. And I see a few leaves in there with the cherry tomatoes that might need to be picked off. But knock on wood, I do not see anything screaming, hey, help me, help me. I've got the wilt. Now things could be different over here. And I do see some suspicious leaves straight away. Straight away. That is not good. Not good at all. Man, these guys have grown. So I tied up probably 4 or 5 days ago, kind of towards the top. And now look at how much it's grown. Ooh, that's a lot of growth. A lot of growth. So I'm going to get in here. I'm going to go ahead and work on the bottom. Make sure that area is clear, 6 to 18 inches. Here's the front side view of the area we were just at. The walkway, the tomato tunnel. It's just a cow panel. And these are the tomatoes I was thinking about relocating to that area in the back where I had the beans that were not doing too well. I'm gonna guess, if I had to guess, these are honey drop from last year. There's like 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 plants right here. They have to come out. I can't leave them like this. I may leave one and just kind of train it to come down here in front of these planters, because they're sucking all the juice away from my poor little shishito. So this shishito here should be the same as that one, but he's not. Planted the exact same, grown the exact same. This one also has a volunteer plant behind it, but it's behind it, not blocking the light like these 2 or 3 or 4. So we got to work on that. But now that it's growing, I kind of want to eat them, right? I want those cherry tomatoes. We got a lot of fruit in production here. See lots and lots of flowers and fruit. I see more flowers than fruit, but there are fruits in here. Oh, there's a nice big one over there. That is Beefmaster. Woohoo. Looks pretty good. Okay. The plants I said I was going to recycle that were the little stragglers that nobody wanted. This is one. I will use this in one of those containers to run our experiment. He is supposed to have wilt resistance. We'll find out. This one, I don't think he would be a very good candidate because he looks like he is already toast. So we're just going to recycle him into the trash or out in the woods. I'll probably just put him in the trash. Poor thing. I hate that. We've only got one plant to run our experiment with. That's sad. Okay. So let's get up on in here and see what is going on. This would be like a heaven for hornworms, right? I'm not coming out tonight though in this area by myself with the black light, because there is a snake that lives in this raised bed area somewhere. This is Beefmaster. Let's just do a quick look at him and see if I need to do any damage control. Probably do need to prune up there, some leaves touching. But he looks okay. I want to go show you the plant that I am worried about. Let us go look if I can get in here. My tomato tunnel is getting a little bit out of control, like a little jungle, but I love it. It smells so good. It smells so good. It smells so good. Bird poop. That's okay. Oof. All right, this guy off by himself is Red Pride. There are some leaves that need to get trimmed up. You can see blight. Blight starts at the bottom, works its way up. We can work with that. That's not too much of a big deal. Here's that cherry tomato bed again. See just a couple leaves. Again, it's the leaves that had a heavy concentration of that cayenne pepper. You can still see it and feel it and hear it. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Learn from me, guys. Don't get stuck with cayenne pepper all over your leaves and causing damage. Okay, right over here. Right over here. Yep. This is Purple Boy. He's in a container. And there's also a volunteer in there. I thought it was going to be a polka, but it's not. I think it looks like a cherry tomato, so I might just pull it. I would say 4 or 5 days ago, I came out here and I saw the leaves have black spots. I cut them off, and then I noticed again, there are more black spots. That really worries me so much, and it's starting from the top of the plant down. So I don't want to infect my entire tomato tunnel. I hate to remove this one because it's already got a lot of fruits, but I might have to. I have a theory. See, the deer stuck its head through here and was chomping on this particular plant and ate quite a bit of it. What if it introduced some type of bacteria with its mouth to the plant to cause this? That's just one weird working theory. I think it makes sense though. What I may do is just chop this whole plant and let it sucker back out. And that way we could keep those fruits and hopefully curtail this disease process. All right, so I'm gonna glove up and I'm gonna do exactly what I just said. Gosh, I hate it. I'm cutting off a lot of fruits, a lot of flowers, but that's okay. We're gonna do it. And then I will move on to the wilt plants, and then I will take a shower, and then we will pick back up with more tomatoes tomorrow. And one more casualty. This is brown sugar. Looks great right here, right? But if you travel back, this is the one that had the really funky leaf set. This is actually the top of the plant. Could it be curly leaf? Maybe. It does have some darkening on the stem. And also, if you go farther down, there are black spots in here. And I'm not playing around with these plants, so it is getting pulled. You can see the black spots on this leaf set. Yep, it's coming out. Remember, when it starts at the top and works this way down, that's pretty ominous. This whole thing's going out. I'm going to grab a pair of gloves and pull this right now. Trash bag at the ready, and I did put that poor little lemon boy in there too. Now, things are making much more sense now. This does not belong to this plant that may have curly top. It actually belongs to that guy over there. So we're going to just gently move him out of the way, because yeah, we don't want to do anything to him. And this entire plant, we're going to just lift it out and stick it in the trash bag. And I want to go investigate it a little bit. I want to cut it and see what it looks like inside. With the roots, they look perfectly okay. Don't see any root knot nematode. This all looks pretty okay. You see the black spots here. There go my glasses. Black spotting down in here. Black spotting here in this area with this sucker. You can see the ominous crown, the header. Top of the plant is all curled inward. Remember, we had night rain all last night, and I just actually watered yesterday morning, so it's not a watering issue at all. You saw all the other tomato plants look really good. So now I'm going to break it open with this hand that's protected from getting everybody else sick. Okay. It looks like, of course my glasses are on the ground, but it looks like there is kind of a hollowed out space in the center of the stem. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to put him in the trash. New glove, clean printers. We're going to go ahead and start at the top and work our way down on this purple boy and try to save him. That is my hope. I don't have any more of these, and you know, I could try to get some suckers off another one over on the other trellis. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. This is the original entry point where the deer took off a big chunk. The black area is. You can see a cut, and I'm just carefully looking for any black spot areas like this. And here we are, severely cleaned up, and I think I got everything that looked remotely suspicious in any way. I did cut back pretty severely on this main stem, but as you can see, it has suckered out quite a bit. Fingers crossed. I will keep an eye on it, and I think what I'm going to do tomorrow, after we get another round of rain and thunderstorms, because our humidity, like right now, it's 75-80%. Tomorrow we're getting thunderstorms. After that, the humidity is probably going to jump 80-90-ish. So after the rain, after the thunderstorms, I will mix up a little bit of a potion as an antifungal, antibacterial, to see if we can control some of the blight that's probably going to be heading our way. And some of these leaves also had the damage from the hot pepper, and I did remove some of those as well. All right, moving right along. We just took out 2 major problems. So now we need to take out the 2 wilt plants and then get a shower and pick back up tomorrow with pruning healthy plants. It's on both sides. It goes all the way through. So what do you think? Bacterial spot? I don't think I have the right weather for spec. I've really not had a lot of this disease before. Knock on wood. I don't want it at all. All right, Black Sea Man number 1 in the trash. I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy out too, same variety. But I want to cut. I really want to cut on this one and see what the inside looks like. I have a feeling the center is going to be very hollow or maybe compartmentalized, fragile, not the normal smooth cut that you see when you cut into a tomato stem. And I meant to show you guys that earlier when I had cut up a bunch of the branches off of the black spot. There were a few normal branches I cut off that looked perfectly normal on the inside, and I forgot to do that. And there we go. There is kind of a hollow center. And if we go farther up, you can see this, it's starting to kind of compartmentalize, but there's a lot of creamy whiteness. And I wonder if we did put some peroxide on there, if it would bubble up. I kind of want to do that, but probably not tonight. Sorry. Just want to get rid of it. I want it in the trash and gone. Now there are actually hornworms over here too. Little cutie. This one also had a lot of cut marks from the deer, so that is interesting. I'm going to keep trimming. I am going to relocate that little hornworm over to nearby a nest of Carolina wrens, and that way, you know, well, you know. Alright, I had a smaller, newer plant in there that didn't seem to be affected yet, so I have 2 cuts from that plant. This is more of the normal appearance from a cutting of a tomato stem versus this creamy white grossness in the center of the one that was heavily infected. Oh, very, very interesting. Alright, this is not very scientific, but we're going to spray a couple of these cuts, see what happens. So the bad, oh, I didn't open it right. Shoot. Definitely bubbling up. I mean, this one would probably bubble just from the soil. Let's try this one. Well, wait a minute, that one has a weird cut too. Let's look at these. Oh, this is it right here. That one doesn't appear, well, yeah, it is actually, it is. So not a very good experiment, right? Or they're both infected. Hey y'all, it's the next day, but I know that this video is super long, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some pictures of my normal tomatoes with my normal problems that's going on in the garden right now to conclude this video. And just know that I am taking care of them, but I needed to showcase these different diseases that were affecting my garden so that it might help someone else out there who may be struggling. Right now, this time of year is when I usually get hit with all these diseases. So yeah, I will talk to you soon, and I hope we all get some tomatoes really, really soon. Bye, guys.